Hello Ninglings. Today I want to talk about something that I normally don't talk about, but I should be talking about more often. As most of you know, after the Sam Pepper incident, some people started the hashtag like greater creator, which was basically them just giving shout outs to people who they think are actually better creators. I really like this, even though I don't think it should have to take a rapist in order to start this type of conversation. This is something YouTubers should be doing more of, and shouting out people who make great content is just good for everybody. But I'm going to take a little spin on this, and instead of talking about somebody's content, I am going to talk about someone who is important to me. And that guy is Vince, who some of you may know. I found Vince's videos literally through just scrolling through Mike Felzone's comments and seeing one guy commenting who said something insightful, and so I checked him out. This started out like most YouTube friendships do, with us commenting on each other's videos and then becoming friends on Twitter, and you sort of know the drill. The thing I like about Vince is he acts as like an intermediate, in that if he's talking to you about something and then he knows somebody else that could be useful in this certain type of conversation, he will draw that person into the same conversation and sort of try to connect all the people that he knows and make like the most friends out of the most people. And as someone who is not very good at starting conversations, I can really appreciate that about Vince. To show you a little bit of the character of Vince, when I first met him at VidCon, I went up to him and gave him a huge hug, but that was while he was having a pretty deep conversation with one of his friends who became an even better friend to him now. He of course played it off smoothly and nicely, even after I completely mistook the person he was talking to for somebody that I knew, which was embarrassing, but she's cool. A little change of scenery because of college and things, but anyways, let's move on. Vince is just one of the happiest dudes that I know, and he's like incredibly enthusiastic just about like everything that he does. All Vince really wants to do is make meaningful connections with other people, and that is very evident once you get to know him for just a few minutes. And since that's one of the things that I really want to do most on YouTube, we get along pretty well. I really like how Vince is super inclusive and is willing to take anybody in and just to talk with them, and able to like make meaningful conversation with just about anyone in just a few short minutes. One of the coolest things that Vince did was while he was in Chicago, he called me up and was like, hey, we should hang out since I'm only a few hours away. Where then I responded with, dude, that's money, I can't really make it to Chicago, and if I were to go halfway, that's still a lot of stuff, and even though you're really close to me and like this will never happen again, I just don't think I can do it due to things and circumstances. And it was basically just me being like very putting forth. That's called selfish. That's the word I want. To which Vince responds with, alright, I'm coming to you. Where do you want me to be? So I start stringing together apologies. I'm like, oh, Vince, you don't have to do this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to feel like a douche. And he just stops me like right on point. He's like, hey, forget about it. Just like I've said things before that you've heard, and somebody told me to just forget about it and move on because it doesn't really matter. Just forget about it and we're gonna have a good time. And that's the kind of guy that I really want to be friends with. We ended up having a wonderful day at the IMA and being able to check out Funky Bones and just all the art at the museum. It was awesome. He actually made a whole video about his trip, which I will link in the description, but basically when I first started watching that video, he was saying things that I said, and he's like, don't ever do that, just basically calling me out. And so I thought the whole video was gonna be going off of that. I was like, oh, you're a funny guy, Vince. But then I kept watching, and basically the whole video was about me, which was a very interesting and sort of humbling experience. I will link Vince's channel down below for you guys to go check out, and why don't you tell me, or at least tweet out somebody that you really enjoy their content, or you just really enjoy them as a person, and tell them that you enjoy them. I'm sure that they'll appreciate it.